What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Darkest Dungeon. My name is Splattercat. I'm happy to be your host here today as we attempt to stay alive a little bit longer. Oh, I forgot to use my torch. You can't cheese a torch, by the way. If you're like in between the transitions between two rooms. Oh, good, we got a scouting roll. That's good. That'll be nice. It looks like there's only treasure in there. It looks like there's a trap and some treasure in here. Let's have our highwayman. So as a brief recap, we restarted the series because I felt like my play was not on point. That's a very, very important thing to me, whereas if I don't like the gameplay that I'm showing off, I simply don't upload it. Every now and again, whenever I take the chance and I just do it anyways when I'm on the fence, I regret it. And so with this game, I felt like a blind playthrough was not going to be something that was possible. I felt like with this game, when you need to have that outside knowledge, and if you don't, you're going to play very, very badly. I'm going to have my highwayman try and... Yeah, there we go. He's really, really good at getting rid of traps. That's his ability. He's good with alchemy. She's good with the different... Like, basically, it doesn't say this anywhere, but by my estimation, there are certain characters who are better at looting and also deactivating certain things in the world map. Please don't klepto. The sack's contents are yours. 50 gold. That's actually a pretty terrible... I mean, why bother even bringing a sack? 50 gold, I think you might be able to hold in two hands. Definitely keep it in a pocket. I mean, you know, I've always liked the word pocket. The word pocket has always been an entertaining word to me.
The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
No combat right there. Let's see if we get lucky in the next room. Yep, we got lucky in the reverse sense. We got unlucky. Anyways, it works. I'm okay here. I'm not going to blunderbuss him. I'm actually just going to go straight for the throat here. See if we can take him out quickly. Because they have a lot of stun lock abilities and they have a lot of blight abilities. They also have a really high... Yeah, after they web you, it means you're marked, and that's a bad thing for you. It's a really, really bad thing for you. I'm going to use him to buff up our DPS character. Let's use Illumination on him. It might raise our... Did Illumination raise our light radius? I think it does. Which has the best chance to hit? Stunning blow. Go for it. There it is. Worst case scenario is if it doesn't kill him, we use the cheese turn to get some health back. In the downturn, if he kills him, I'll take that too. That's just as good. Kill him, stun him, kill him, stun him, stick him in a stew. I don't know. The sack is empty. Yeah, I feel that way a lot of the time when scary things happen. He feels like it's foreboding in the next room. I don't actually know what that means, but every now and again before you go into a room, they'll be like, wait.
The promise of safety.
Every now and again, they'll wait in front of the door, and I can't actually physically force them to go into the room. So that's the end of the dungeon. I think we should go back, actually. Let's go take a look. I'm not saying that we should farm this out, but because we're in decent condition, though, we should definitely go check that empty room. Maybe get into a couple more fights, see how things go. On this side, this is a fairly easy fight, actually, so I'm just going to let them have it. Let's open up full bore on these guys with everything that we have. I'm going to go for... Does this hurt Unholy? Doesn't hurt Unholy, huh? Well, let's go for... It does how much damage? It's got a damage mod of minus 40%. Frontline him. There it is. That'll work for right now. I'll take it. On that side, we've managed to kill off the enemy. Plague grenades of no use, so let's just throw a damage buff out to here so that when he AoEs, it hits harder. These enemies right here are not something to be worried about. I mean, look at him. He's got a head wound right now. He's fighting us with a minor concussion, and while I appreciate his spirit and his ability to hang in there, he should just take a day off. I mean, you've got a head injury, bro. I had a concussion one time, and it was awful.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
So you see, it's not a bad idea to farm, because sometimes you get like big loot like this. One of the other areas in the game that is highly subject to random number generation and just luck is the loot tables. Like sometimes you get nothing, and sometimes you get incredible loot, and it's just, sometimes it's worth it to go back in and take a look. Sometimes it's worth it. You never know. There's a chest in this place right here. So what I'd like to do is we're going to go this way. We might get ambushed. It's always a possibility, but I'm okay with it right now. Our health is looking really good. Our stress is looking reasonably decent. Our doctor might fall off the bus right here, but that's okay. The bus isn't that tall, so he's probably not going to injure himself too badly. And even if he does, we've got multiples of him. Hunger, okay, so let's use that. There we go. You don't get any spirits back when you do hunger, though, which is a little bit disappointing sometimes. Let's go ahead and check the bookshelf. The passages are unsettling, so he got a little bit of stress right there. He's going to have to take the day off anyway, so it wasn't a big deal. We're going to check this last room, though, before our light runs out. One more right there. We used up all of our torches. You can't bring it with you, so make sure you use it up if you're, on the job. You might as well. Let's go check everything. Okay, we've got another thing right here. We'll use our last shovel.
Stone seems bent on preventing passage.
And maybe have a combat in here. We'll find out. No combat, so that was it. There's no bonus for clearing out the dungeons, but we could check that passage right there, but I think I'm just going to let it go. Just going to let it go.
The shifted corridors and sloped walls of our ancestry are beginning to feel familiar.
Okay, so we got a couple of deeds right there. That's the thing that we were out of. I always end up with too many busts and too many crests every single time. Every time. We made a lot of money, though, so it looks like our economy is going to be right on point. So that's a bonus. You definitely don't want to get behind the gold curve in this game. If you do, it's very, very difficult to recover. Let's see what our bonuses are, or our detriments. He got Satanophobia, so he's afraid of the unholy. He got Ruins Explorer, so that makes him better at scouting in ruins. He got Warren's Adventure, which makes him better at... Oh, no, he takes less stress at damage. Okay, so good. His stress damage is lowered when he's in the Warrens. This character got Nocturnal. He doesn't attack anyways, though, so it's not that big of a deal. And this character got Improved Balance. I may actually get rid of Boneth, just because that -2 to speed. I like to keep my light above 75, just as a point of pride when we're in the early game. It tends to be a good idea, and the way that I do that is by just expending torches left and right. And so, because we pop so many flares, I may get rid of him because I need his stun bomb to be early on in the combat, and if his speed is low, we can't do that. Back in action right now, we're going to have our weekly... You should pay attention to this, too. I didn't bring it up in the previous episodes, but you should pay attention to the weekly recap because bad things happen. So, for example, McCult lost 1,000 gold after becoming overcome with emotion and donating generously. Why we give random members of our party, like, access to our various financial stuff? Let's see here. Corbett has achieved Enlightenment. His new quirk is Enlightened, which is actually a bad thing. Apparently Enlightenment is terrible in this game. It means that he can no longer do anything but meditate. So you know how I talked about how you want to get rid of characters that get things that limit the places where they can get rid of their stress? It's exactly what I'm talking about right there. So Corbett may be on his way out. We have far too many doctors anyways right now. I also prefer to organize my line. Some people, I try to do it by alphabetizing, but I think I like doing it by class better. It makes the thing a little bit easier to like rectify. I would recommend you do this too, so that you have an easy head count of what you have and what you don't have, so that when it comes time to hire and fire, you know, you can get rid of people that are kind of a pain in the ass. He's scattering. What does that do? -5% damage. That's actually not so terrible. Corbett has Enlightened, which I think that'll actually make me... He's got too many detriments right now, so I think I'll dismiss him. That leaves us with Revere's and Boneth. Boneth's going to be out for a day, and if he picks up any more negative traits, I'll probably get rid of him too. You can get rid of the traits here at the sanitarium, but it's expensive. So be aware, it's going to cost a lot of cash. Oh, we didn't get any chat right here? Normally he talks. I don't know. Normally he says something. Either way, what happens at the sanitarium is you come in here, they poke you with things, you sit around with skulls, and this terrifying lady looks at you kind of derisively. So anyways, as I was saying, I don't know what just happened right there. I got like this weird feeling in my throat. It was somewhere in between like a gag and a cough. Something got caught in my throat. No idea what that was. That was the most crazy thing ever. My eyes are watering right now. I look like I've been crying. No, I have been crying actually. The game is difficult and it makes me upset. I'm an easy cry. I'm a sentimental cry. You guys watch Psych? Psych is one of my favorite shows of all time. Anyways, I have tears in my eyes right now. I'm going to have trouble talking, but hopefully it went away. All that happens at the sanitarium to continue our conversation is that you come in here, she pokes you with needles filled with like unknown fluids and colored objects, and anyways, it makes you better. Don't be fooled by her meager dress and obviously friendly temperament. This is a terrible place to be. But what happens is you put people in the sanitarium and it gets rid of one of their red abilities. So this is how over the long term you can cultivate some characters. So let's say that one character gets ahead of the others. He's like level 4 when the others are level 1 due to just random happenstance. You may want to put him in the sanitarium to cultivate him as a one like mainline ringer. So you can get rid of all of his problems while everybody else levels up, and that'll leave him with no red abilities, like 5 or 6 yellow abilities, which are good, and so he becomes like a very, very powerful character. So for example, with Reynald, it's a smart idea to get rid of Kleptomaniac because bad things will happen. Let's have a look at our roster, though. Let's see who we can recruit before we start like hiring and firing. Oh good, I almost never get the Grave Robber. I never get Grave Robbers, like seriously. They just don't come up. So we've got room for a couple of things right here. What can I do? Let's increase our hero barracks for right now because we have enough deeds to do so. Yeah, I'll go ahead and drop that right now. That's going to give us more room so that we can have 11 people, I think. A minor UI change that I'd like to see made is give me a number up here at the top that tells me how many heroes I can have and how many heroes I already have. I can count perfectly fine, but it would be nice to have a spot on the UI where I can just look real fast and be like, okay, I have 8 out of 11, and I can know exactly how many people I want to recruit. For right now, though, next one's going to increase it to 13. Alright, that seems alright. We've got a Jester. The Jester's a character we haven't seen just yet. The Jester's kind of an interesting character with the regard that he's not really incredibly useful, but when he's useful, he's super useful. So a Jester is a support character, or it can be a mainline character. This Jester has no place in our party, I don't think, because he's got terrible abilities. His abilities, Inspiring Tune can be very, very useful, but it can only be used from the back line. Battle Ballad is okay, but once again, you stack it during the course of a fight, and so by the time it's stacked up high enough to be useful, the fight's probably halfway over. Dirk Stab moves him to the front line, therefore nullifying all of his other abilities. So, this Jester is not so good. The case in which the Jester is good is when he's more of a rogue. So the Jester can have a build with Slice Off, Heroic End, and Harvest, where you can have him in the second part of your line, like right here. And he's actually a very good DPSer, and then in the off chance that you have like anything else happen, he can fill in as a third party member as well. If he gets Battle Ballad, I almost said Party Ballad, not Party Ballad, Battle Ballad. We're not going to be popping any drakes right now. We're going to be popping blood veins and things. Is there anything other than a blood vein? I feel like that was a little bit... Yeah, I'm going to have to take that one back right there. A little bit redundant. But anyways, if you get Battle Ballad and you get all of his melee abilities, like these three right here, he's a good third. He's a very, very good third. But anything else, and they're kind of terrible. So like I said, Jesters are one of the few classes that can be just utterly terrible, but can also be incredible if you get the right abilities. So he's not going to be coming with us. We've got Phantasme, the Berserker. So she's a Hellion. Essentially all that she is she's a Viking. Like kind of like a Viking barbarian. I don't know. She looks kind of like the... She looks a little bit like the barbarian from Diablo, so I'm assuming that's where they got the inspiration from. Like I said, a lot of the classes in this game, you can tell they come from other stuff, and then they just kind of like, it was a little bit of a homage, I guess. But anyways, this character looks like the barbarian from Diablo, so that's where I'm going to say she's from, because it makes me happy to think that after my character finished their journeys in Tristram, they went on and did something else. I don't know, it makes me happy to think that the adventure goes on. This character, once again, can be good or terrible. She's actually pretty terrible. She's got a number of abilities. She hits really hard. Their accuracy is low, but she hits really hard, so that's what her ability is. The other thing is she's missed out on a lot of abilities right now. So, if it bleeds is okay. It puts a bleed on the enemy, as it sounds like. She's got the AoE, which is important. And she's got bleed out, which unfortunately... It's a melee attack that hits harder, but it gives her a debuff. So essentially, if you want to hit really hard just to finish a fight, it's a great ability. But by and large, I would prefer that she not have this ability. The abilities that I would go for if I wanted this character would be Wicked Hack, Barbaric Yawp, Breakthrough, and then Adrenaline Rush. Those would be the four that I would go for a perfect barbarian if you wanted her to be a frontline combatant. Breakthrough is by far the all-star right here because of its crit chance. It's an AoE ability that hits the first 3 characters in a line with an increased crit chance, and so it crits all the time for like 11, 12, 17 damage, which can wipe out their entire first line, second line, and third line on the first turn if you get lucky. So we'll bring her along because we need filler characters, but just be aware, I'm probably going to fire her later on because she's got bad stats.
Barbaric rage and unrelenting savagery make for a powerful ally.
Alternatively, Rosai. Rosai has a nuke heal, so Rosai could fill in as, like we did with Revere. This character could fill in as a nuke healer, and in fact, I would strongly consider... I like M'Cult, her abilities work. Like basically, she has synergy for the 3rd and 4th position. Revere is a very, very good second line person, but I may get rid of Revere. We have room, so I'm going to bring Rosai for right now and not fire Revere.
Battle, pious and unrelenting.
And then Newfmark, or Newfmark, however you prefer to say it. She's got bad abilities. It looks like she's got a speed nerf if she's nocturnal. Okay, she's soft, which means she has less HP. However, 5% of 20, so she lost 1 HP right there. It's not really that big of a deal. Her abilities, I don't have a lot of experience with this character because in my experience, she drops and becomes available a lot less frequently than other characters. I see her by far less than everything else. She just never comes up for me. She's got Lunge, which moves her forward by 2 and deals damage. Probably will never get used. She's got Shadow Fade, which moves her back by 1. And it looks like it stuns an enemy and moves her back in the line. She's got Thrown Dagger, which can hit the back line. But she's missing her all-star ability, which is Flashing Daggers, and then you also want Pick to the Face. You want Pick to the Face and you want Flashing Daggers. She's got Toxin Trickery, which increases her dodge chance, and cures any blight or bleed, which is a pretty decent ability if you want to pop it off early in a combat just to see if she can get out of the way. But by and large, we had actually really, really bad luck on this go with our ability rolls. So most of these characters are probably not going to get used. I don't want to hurt your feelings or make you sad, but I'm not going to slot them in just because this game is all about winning as much as possible. If you start losing, it's real, real bad. So anyways, let's get people's stress taken care of. I'm going to take Boneth, and we'll throw Boneth into the Penance Hall. We're going to take Reynald and throw him into the Transept. I almost clicked the wrong thing right here. I don't know why I clicked that. I have no clue. I can't explain it to you right now. Everybody else is looking reasonably okay. Enough so that I wouldn't like really kind of like get out there and use any of the abilities if I couldn't help it. I think that people's stress is perfectly fine right now. Running double healers is a viable strategy, and in fact is a good strategy for farming up HP, XP, and everything else. So things to think about right there. Let's check out the guild.
Make no mistake, we will face ever greater threats. Our soldiers must be ready.
So in the guild, it's going to allow you to train your characters and upgrade their abilities, which is a very, very important thing. If you can increase their abilities, it increases the efficiency, it increases the proficiency of the abilities, so you can level up them nuke heals, level up them attacks, and actually the effects can be sort of like satisfying sometimes. You can get extra crit chance, all kinds of good stuff, so there is something to be gained in here by increasing your skills. It's expensive, but it's worth it.
The bellows blast once again. The forge stands ready to make weapons of war.
Are there any other type of weapons? Like, aren't all weapons meant for war? Like, it's very, very rare that you find somebody be like, oh, this is a great gun for leisure. Like, well, you can skeet shoot with it, and you can go hunting, so I guess that's leisurely. I guess that would be the distinction I would make, but still, weapons of war, like all weapons, like, at the end of the day, the gun is a weapon, and weapons are used for protection. That was ultimately what most people used them for. So I guess weapon of war, I guess there's a little bit more wiggle room than I let on. Basically right here, you can upgrade stuff. It's expensive though, and it takes a long time because to upgrade somebody's weapon, you need weaponsmithing and furnace and like a couple of other things. Or no, you don't need that, but anyways, your characters have to have specific things as well. So it gets expensive real fast upgrading gear. Make sure that you're not upgrading people that you're just going to fire later on when they get too many traits that have bogged down. For right now, we've got the abilities and the stuff, I think, to upgrade the church, which is busts and crests, I think. So we should probably just do that here. Let's go ahead and we'll go with the transept. We'll go with the cloister and the transept for right now.
Gilded icons and dogmatic rituals. For some, a tonic against the bloodshed.
So basically all the first rank is going to do is going to increase the amount of stress recovery you get when you check somebody in for treatment. The next one is going to reduce the cost, which is pretty good. The third one is going to give you another slot so that multiple people can go in for healing at the same time. And then after that, it's just more of the same. Feeling pretty good about our purchases right now. If we could find something that was busts and portraits, I think that might work. We've got busts and crests. We've got busts, oh no, crests and portraits. We've got portraits and crests. We've got deeds, and that's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. I've never gotten the survivalist yet. I don't know when you get the survivalist, but I assume that you get like firewood from him or something. I don't know. I figure he's probably useful somehow. That is there, but you can, it's not clickable, but it's clickable. I don't know. We can actually spend some of the stuff that we have, so let's just embark on another adventure, shall we? That sounds like fun. On this side, we now have the ability to go... No, we don't actually. We don't have the ability to go to the wall, so that's fine. That works out for me. We might want to give ourselves a medium adventure, just to see if we can maybe... What is that? Flash fire gunpowder, which is for the highwayman only. It gives him more damage and less accuracy. Considering how much he gets dodged, I'm not really sure I would go after that one. What do we have? We have 2 mediums and a short. Yeah, let's try out a medium. I'm going to show you guys how the campfires work. I think that'll be a fun way to show off the game. I'm going to go with Rosai, who's going to be a second, I think. We're going to take... he's kind of terrible. I suppose we'll take Dismas. His stress is not so high to where I'm worried about him going crazy in the next fight. We'll take Revere as our backline healer, I guess. She has nothing but the heal right there, but I think I'm okay with it. Or wait, who else did I... With Rosai, which one was the one that did better in the back line? Somebody here did better in the back line. It was McCult. Did I already put McCult in? I'm sorry, McCult goes to the back line. And then from there, we're going to bring Phantasme as our frontline warrior. That actually gives me a little bit of leeway to move him forward. I'll try and get a better grave robber. Like, I just... Unfortunately, Newfmarch is not that good. Her abilities are kind of terrible right now. And so I would prefer to get one with a little... There's specific builds. A lot of this meta that goes into this game is that some characters are just inherently better than others. Like, a lot of the abilities in this game need to have, like, slight tweaks made to make them a little bit more useful. But as it stands right now, you can get a combination of abilities that just makes somebody useless. And so I tend to, like, stay away when that happens. This character prefers to be in the second position, so we might be able to make that work right there. She's got a nuke heal, so yeah, that'll work out for us. I'm feeling good about this. Let's ride. For a medium dungeon, this is going to be, we're going to want to stock up a little bit better. So for a medium dungeon, I would technically double whatever it is that I brought before. So I would bring 24 food, I would bring 20 torches, just bring a lot of stuff. I would bring 2 shovels like normal, a couple skeleton keys just in case. You want to stock up a bit better is my point. Maybe I'll make 3 stacks of torches just in case. And so that's looking pretty good right there. This starting, I'm going a little bit overboard right now, but that's just because there's such a vast variance in like what can happen during the course of an adventure. So I'm not going to bring any cures or anything because they all fall off on their own, so I figured it'll be alright. Let's embark.
Pace out the halls of your lineage once familiar, now foreign.
Now that we're back in the dungeon, I think that we will head, let's take a look actually at the layout here. Okay, so this is it's considerably larger. We'll want to be careful while we're in here. I mean, we do have a pretty good party right now. Like seriously, this party right here is super gangster. However, let's go ahead and maybe read some books. A map is found tucked into the volumes, and so that's going to give us a randomly pinged scouting location on the map. It's going to let us know where the treasure room is on the plus side, so that'll be nice. This party is a little bit susceptible to our lines being moved around, so we'll try and be careful about that as we go through the game. He stepped in a trap. Unfortunate. He took 6 damage nice and early.
Spring to life with a singular purpose.
Not too terrible, however, as we do have many, many healers with us right now, so...
The promise of safety.
One of the things that I would recommend, so the camping mechanic in this game, essentially what it allows you to do is stop in the middle of the dungeon and use those camping abilities that we've been looking at but not explaining the entire game. They're long-term buffs that last the entire dungeon, they heal characters, they get rid of stress. Essentially the developers realized that on the medium dungeons you're basically guaranteed to have everybody go crazy, and so they added the campfire system, which allows you to kind of take a little stop off in the middle, a little rest break, you know. Do your 1s and 2s, make sure that everybody's rested up and prepared for the fight ahead. Man, you're the rogue right now. What's going on, man? You're the rogue. You're supposed to be on top of this. Like, really, you are. Crate contains stashed heirlooms. Couple of George Washingtons right there. Not something that I'm going to turn around. We can call them Thomas Jeffersons if you prefer. I mean, different people prefer different colonial leaders.
As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
Oh good, we made a scouting roll. That's gonna be nice. There's a big fight right there though. That's what that icon means. It means that there's enemies lying in wait for an ambush, so you need to be careful when you go in. We've already been hit with a hunger, nice and early. A little bit disappointing. I was hoping we'd make it a little bit further. 3 rooms and 1 hunger is... it's a little bit of a stop off earlier than I expected, but I guess that's why we brought extra food, so there it is. We've got healers, so we shouldn't have to use it to heal anytime soon. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna have her use this. The hero is absolved of a sin. Very, very nice. Her bloodthirsty has been purged. I don't know what that means, but I assume that it means she can't be healed while she's bleeding. I think. That would be my best guess. Having played the game quite a bit, she's deadly. She has crit rate. Okay, that's cool. I like crits. Crits in this game are massively powerful, so don't ever, like, let it be said by my lips anyways that crits are not my favorite thing. Okay, ambush. Oh, they got surprised. Okay, this is going to work out for us then. It's going to be nice. We're going to get the first round of attacks. What I would start out with then is I would heavily focus on stunning characters. Oh, never mind, we can't stun anybody. Then I will throw some judgment to the back lines to try and kill the bone courtier. So there's 4 damage right there. It would have healed her had she any health missing, but no health missing, nothing she can worry about. She's actually in the wrong spot in our line for her to be able to do anything useful. I wanted her to nuke heal the entire fight, so I'm going to move her back slightly. I'm going to use Breakthrough right here, and that's going to be 3, 5, and 2 for a total of 10. Made it into those double digits, and then we'll start off with a shot right there, because I would love to get rid of this individual before the fight goes any further. He's going to use Tempting Goblet, which is an ability that... Oh, that's bad. Okay, that's a lot of stress for 1 attack right there, but we can take it. We can take it. We do have campfires, so we do have like a backup plan right now. Things to like not worry about. I'm gonna go with Dazzling Light right here in the attempt to stun the Arbalist. So there it is. The Arbalist is stunned so that we don't have to worry about catching a critical quarrel right now to the side of our face. I'm gonna try and get rid of this character right here. Actually, just use Breakthrough. It'll be fine. These characters are very fast. Watch out for them. You got it. The bone courtiers are a problem. We finished him off though. Our stress is a tad high for where we're at right now in the dungeon.
Nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
Alright, I know. They're both felled and can be felled. So we've got... Actually, that's a pretty good pull for us right there. That's over 2,000 gold. Well, close to 2,000 gold with 1 go. That's going to give us 1,850 from 1 fight. I'll take it. I'll definitely take it. I'm more than happy to put that in my wallet. My name is Splattercat. I think I'm going to break it off right here. I will see you all in the next episode. Take care out there, everybody. I hope that these episodes have been helpful. This was the reason for the reboot, is that I just wanted to be more informative and help people play the game, because what I'm noticing from a lot of the press and a lot of people on Twitter is that people are struggling with the game right now. They're really having a hard time with it, and so I feel like I found a number of tips that will just help you get through the game a little bit easier in the early game. Granted, I haven't fought a lot of bosses, but I am playing the game a lot in my free time, so I more than likely will by the time that we get there. So, hi-do everybody, I'll see you next time.